Welcome to my channel, the Canine Code. Has your dog ever growled at someone who seemed perfectly friendly, and later you realized they were bad news? Turns out your dog wasn't overreacting. They were picking up on something you couldn't see. What looks like random behavior is actually a primal science-backed skill most of us humans have lost over time, and today, you're finally going to understand it. In this video, you'll discover exactly how dogs sense bad people, the cues they notice instantly, and how you can read those signals yourself. If you love learning what's really going on inside your dog's mind, hit subscribe so you don't miss anything. Let's break down how this ability actually works because it's way deeper than just dogs have good instincts. Chapter 1. Dogs are wired to read human intent. Dogs knew how to read us long before we knew how to read each other. It sounds dramatic, but it's true. For tens of thousands of years, dogs evolved right beside humans, watching every tiny movement we made. Before language, before tools, before anything you'd call a society, dogs were already decoding our micro-signals. And now, this isn't just because they're observant or because they're loyal. It's because they're biologically wired to sense intent. Your dog notices tiny posture shifts, small changes in breathing, even the way someone's eyes move. They don't just read behavior. They read the intention behind the behavior. Scientists have shown that dogs can pick up on emotional states through facial expressions and even subtle scent changes. Ever notice your dog react before you even knew something was off? That's not coincidence. That's evolution doing its job. Your dog is constantly comparing what's normal for humans with the tiny danger patterns most of us never see. And once you understand how powerful that ability is, it becomes even more fascinating when you realize they're not just watching, they're smelling something too, something we'd never detect on our own. Chapter 2. Smelling, fear, anger, and stress chemicals. Imagine walking past someone and your dog reacts as if a silent alarm just went off. Because to them, it did. Dogs live in a world of scent, the way we live in a world of color. And while you and I can't smell anything unusual, your dog is picking up chemical signals pouring off a person's skin and breath. Scientists call these chemosignals, tiny scent markers created when emotions shift. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline have a smell to dogs. Even changes in pheromones can reveal fear, tension, or aggression long before a person ever speaks. Now, this isn't just because dogs have great noses or because they're dramatic. It's because to a dog, a spike in these chemicals often means something unpredictable is happening. People with bad intentions, even if they look calm on the outside, usually carry elevated stress chemistry, and your dog catches it instantly. That's why you'll see your dog stiffen, step behind you, or even lean forward protectively. They're smelling emotional truth, not social performance. Think of someone your dog instantly disliked. Were they anxious, intense, or just off? Dogs pick up what we filter out, and once they've smelled that shift, their eyes start working overtime, watching for the micro-behaviors that confirm what their nose already told them. Chapter 3. Micro-behaviors. Dogs notice a person can lie with their words, but their body almost never gets away with it. And your dog knows that once your dog picks up a strange scent shift, their eyes immediately start scanning for confirmation, and this goes way beyond noticing someone acting weird. Dogs are masters at catching split signals, those tiny, inconsistent cues humans give off when their intentions don't match their behavior. A fake smile paired with stiff shoulders, a friendly tone with cold eyes, a relaxed posture that freezes for half a second too long. To dogs, these details matter. They watch for sudden stillness, direct unblinking stars, or someone pushing too far into your space. Even a slight tension around the eyes is enough to raise a red flag. They compare every person's behavior to the thousands of humans they've observed before. And when something doesn't fit, they don't ignore it the way we do. Has your dog ever stepped between you and a stranger without you saying a word? That's not random. It's their way of quietly signaling something's off. And dogs don't just read individuals. They read entire rooms, too. And that's where things get even more interesting. Chapter 4. Dogs read the energy of the room. Picture your dog walking into a room, pausing, and instantly knowing who's arguing, even if everyone's smiling. Dogs don't just read people. They read the entire emotional temperature of a space, the way you feel the weather shift before a storm. And now, this isn't because they're dramatic or sensitive. It's because dogs are wired for social harmony. For thousands of years, their survival depended on sensing tension within a group, and that instinct is still alive in your living room today. They pick up on emotional contagion, your subtle reactions to someone, even the ones you try to hide. If a person makes you uncomfortable, even just a tiny bit, your dog feels the mismatch between your words and your body. They notice tension between people, fake friendliness, or someone trying to dominate the energy of the room. And that's why dogs warm up instantly to genuinely kind people. Their internal radar reads sincerity like it's a bright color. Has your dog ever walked into a room and seemed to sense conflict you hadn't even said out loud? That's their social intelligence at work. And when you hear real stories of dogs acting on these signals, everything starts to click. Chapter 5. Stories that make it click. I'll be honest, some of the strongest intuition moments in my life didn't come from me. They came from a dog. Let me tell you one that still gives people chills. A woman was walking home late one evening with her normally social tail-wagging lab. They passed a man who looked perfectly ordinary. Cleanclothes.com voice, nothing alarming. But the dog froze. Then he quietly stepped in front of her, lowered his head, and let out a low growl she'd never heard before. She trusted him, crossed the street minutes later. That same man was intercepted by police after multiple reports of suspicious behavior. The dog sensed something long before any human did. And here's another. A tiny chihuahua who always avoided one particular visiting family friend, nothing dramatic, just slipping behind the owner's leg, refusing to be touched. Months later, the truth came out. That friendly person had been manipulating several people in the household. The dog wasn't wrong. Different breeds show it differently. Shepherds get intense. Toy breeds get clingy, but the message is often the same. If you've ever had a moment like this, you're not imagining it. Dogs leave clues. And once you know how to read those clues, you can start using them in real time. Chapter 6. How to read your dog's signals. Picture your dog as a tiny furry radar system, constantly sweeping the room and sending you signals you might not realize you're supposed to read. Once you hear these stories, it's natural to wonder what your own dog has been trying to tell you. And now, this isn't because dogs are mysterious or hard to understand. It's because their communication is subtle, almost like whispers. Most people never learn to listen for it, but once you know the signs, everything changes. Soft signs come first, licking their lips, turning their head away from someone, stepping just a little closer to your leg. These mean, I'm unsure. Pay attention. Hard signs are clearer, blocking your path, staring intensely at a person, or a low growl that isn't dramatic, but very intentional. That's your dog saying, something's not right here. Not every reaction means danger. Sometimes it's discomfort, unfamiliar scent, or even a person's energy being too loud. Context matters, but there's a quick checklist. Does the reaction happen instantly, repeatedly, quietly, but firmly? Those are the moments to trust. When your dog signals something, respond calmly, reassure them, create space, and observe with them instead of dismissing it. And of course, sometimes dogs get it wrong, but even that has a reason. Chapter 7. When your dog is wrong, I'll admit something. Sometimes, your dog isn't sensing danger. They're sensing their own past. And that's important to understand because even though dogs are incredibly intuitive, they're not perfect detectors. A dog with a rough history, under socialization, or certain breed sensitivities might react to things that have nothing to do with a person's intentions. Tall hats, limping gaits, deep voices, quick arm movements. These can all trigger old memories or instinctive responses. Now, this isn't because your dog is dramatic or overly sensitive. It's because behavior is shaped by two forces working together: intuition and personal history. A dog who once had a bad experience with someone wearing heavy boots might stiffen around anyone with a similar walk. A shy rescue might growl at strangers not because they're dangerous, but because the unfamiliar still feels unsafe. There's also a big difference between fear-based reactivity and genuine danger detection. One comes from insecurity, the other comes from perception, and helping a nervous dog build confidence through slow introductions. Positive associations and gentle exposure can transform how they read the world. Does your dog dislike certain people for reasons you can't explain? There's always a reason, even if it lives quietly in their past. And once you understand both sides, the instinct and the history, you're ready for the real takeaway. How to trust this partnership without going to extremes. Chapter 8. Trust the partnership. Your dog isn't magic, but what they can sense sure feels like it. And that's the beauty of this whole thing. Everything your dog does, every pause, every lean, every quiet warning is rooted in biology, evolution, and an honesty humans don't always show. Dogs sense more than we do, not because they're supernatural, but because they pay attention to the things we've learned to ignore. And when your dog reacts to someone, they're not trying to be difficult. They're trying to keep you safe. You don't have to assume danger every time they act unsure, but you can trust that their reactions mean something. You and your dog make a team, your perspective plus their instincts. It's a partnership built on thousands of years of survival, connection, and loyalty. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching my video. Take care.